Hey everyone, welcome back to Paper Therapy with Amy. I have a camping layout for you today using this Lake Life paper packet, and I'm going to bring in these plaid sheets. These came from the workshop for Storybook Moments. I'm going to bring in maybe this topographical map sheet. It's from Take to the Skies, sorry. And then I have a few of the sheets that are from this paper pack itself. And I'm going to use some orange. I had a good idea where I was going with this layout right away, but I wasn't exactly sure what papers I would like to use on it. So I kind of had a bunch picked out and was just going to see which ones look the best. So I'm gonna for sure have the pictures in sort of a cross formation like this. I do change it up a little bit, but this is sort of the plan. And I want to put the small ones on the bottom. I want to mat them on this orange paper. So I'm going to cut a couple of strips to have the 2x2 pictures across the bottom on. And to tone the paper back just a little bit, I'm going to use a sanding disc on my little tool here, and I'm just gonna sand back the paper to show the white core, and that just tones it down a little bit. I store all my photos on Amazon Photos. It's an app and you get it for free, or it's included if you subscribe to Amazon Prime, which I do. So I will take an album that I think is almost done and I will look through it, and I'll have my phone there and I'll go back to the date where my album starts and I'll scroll through my pictures. And if I find a bunch of pictures that I haven't scrapbooked, then I will put a sticky note in my album saying, in this case, May long camping trip and the year. And then I will download the photos right away into an album on my phone so that I know that I have those photos left to scrapbook to complete that album for that year. So that's kind of my method to making sure I get all my photos scrapbooked. I had already decided that I was going to use Life's Better at the Lake for my title. And because I'm planning to use that, I kind of want to have layers of strips across the page with dovetails on the end. So the title just kind of blends into those strips. And I wanted to have that particular title right under the picture of the lake there. That's my favorite picture. And way in the background, you can just spy the Rocky Mountains. As I said earlier, Storybook Moments has a few plaid papers that come in 12 by 12. They're very similar to papers that are in the 6x6 plaid paper pack, but not identical, I don't think. So I chose this paper because I liked the blues and how it matches the blues in my pictures. And the plan here is to dovetail this paper as well, and then bring a third layer of pattern paper across the top. These pictures across this banner are 3x4 or maybe slightly narrower. And once I put the dovetail in the paper on the ends, I realized that on the right side, it's barely going to show. So that's when I decided to rearrange things just a little bit. On this camping trip, our oldest son turned 18. So there is some pictures of just him and his friends sitting in a big circle. They had their own campsite right beside the lake, tent site. So you had to walk into it. And it was just so beautiful, their site, and they could sit and have fires just looking over the lake. The guys kept going to get firewood every day. I think they really enjoyed using their chainsaws out on Crown land. That is land that is owned by the country, but or the public, basically. And you can get a permit to go and cut down standing dead, which is pine trees that have died but are still standing. Most campgrounds you can buy wood as well, but it's very expensive. So this is a way cheaper way of getting wood. So yeah, the fellas went to get wood, and I have those round logs in the pictures. And so I'm going to use the log round in my embellishments for sure. So you can see here that I switched things around and I made more space for my pictures. But I do also decide to leave that one picture off of somebody carrying some wood. I just decided it wasn't essential for the pictures, and I have a picture of that person somewhere else on the layout. I'm kind of fine-tuning where the pictures are going to go and shifting things around a little bit, and then I'm going to bring in the top piece of paper that I decide to use, which is the one with the crossed paddles on it from Lake Life. I really like how this looks, and it goes well with that picture on the very top there of us paddling. And I also think it would be nice to dovetail this little evergreen tree strip and kind of finish off my strips by adding it to the top. Also, off camera, I cut some mats for some of the photos. I cut a mat for the main lake photo and the strip of photos, the 3x4s that are from top to bottom. So far, the layout is quite linear with a lot of the strips going side to side, so I thought it would be nice to break that up with a strip coming down from the top. So you can see that here, I've added those mats in and I think they really add to the layout. I also stamped these log rounds in paprika ink, and I'm going to use them as bases for some of my embellishments. I have these pine sprigs that are from the Golden Greenery, the standalone dies that come with the die set. It's actually sold out, sorry about that. But any sprigs or pine boughs would work for this type of layout, and I'm just using a little bit of pine ink to color them up a little bit to give them a little bit more dimension. Two of the pictures that were on the bottom row of 2x2 pictures were very similar to each other, so I removed one and added in that little duck. I just put him on a 2x2 backing of paper so that he kind of joins those pictures across the bottom, and I think it's very fitting because there's a lot of wildlife in this lake. I'm just using my scissors to weed out a few little bits from my die cuts here, and then I'll start arranging them on the page. When I cut these pine boughs out of, believe it or not, pine colored paper, it is a two-sided paper with the two tones, so I do kind of alternate which side I cut from so that they are a little bit different colors. It's hard to tell on video, but it does really show up when you're seeing them in person. I find sprigs like this are such ideal embellishments for camping pages, as in Canada you will almost always be camping in pine trees, but any sprigs would actually work. I really appreciate everyone watching these videos, and I appreciate your support. And one great way to support me is to hit that thumbs up button. That always helps me out here on YouTube, and subscribe to my channel. That helps me out a great deal as well. If you would like to do even more than that, you can always make a purchase on Stampin' Up's website and enter my name in as your demonstrator. I have my name down below. If you check it out down there, you'll be able to see what I used on this layout that's still available, which isn't very much, but you'll also be able to see my full name there so you can enter me in as your demonstrator. I'm going to pull in the sticker sheet for a few last stickers to put here and there. I really like the little hexagon with the word lake on it. It also has another little punch of that paprika color, that orange color. I'm also going to add some little grass bits on the bottom that was part of the workshop. It's a sort of chipboard embellishment, and it has pieces of grass, and I think it has some reeds or whatever, and that was perfect for this layout because you could paddle right into the weeds and reeds and see the different birds that were nesting there. One thing that I forgot to mention I added was that plaid piece of paper at the very bottom. It's just a little narrow 1-inch strip, and I cut it on an angle from the paper so that my those green stripes would be angled because they're straight on the paper. So in order to get it like that, I cut it at an angle. The punches of orange in this layout really match my son's hoodie, and normally I get frustrated when I have to add colors that aren't really my vibe. But I do actually like orange. I don't know why I like it better than red, but I just do. It's more earthy to me, I guess. So let me know down in the comments what you think of this layout. I think it turned out really great, and it has a real camping vibe, which I love. I added a few of those little epoxy dots in an orange color, and I added some journaling strips over here so that I could write down a few words about the camping trip. I really hope you enjoyed watching this layout come together, and for more camping inspiration, click this video right here. Bye!